Hello everyone, hope you all are well and good. So, we are starting with the first chapter of polity, which holds a great importance for even the aspirants appearing for civil services and other state civil services, for UPSC and other state civil service exam. NCERT starts in a very good way, in a very great way. He follows a theory, he follows a human intuition that if you get to know why and how of anything, if anything, you yourself, you automatically will get interested in it. If you get to know why constitution was formed and how constitution was formed, your internal intuition, your internal curiosity will yourself compel you to read it. Let's start. So the first chapter is Constitution, why and how. Why? Why Constitution? The reason is functions. Because it has some functions. The first function. The first function, to understand the first function, is to understand one thing. That there is a diversity in India. Take another student. If there is a diversity anywhere in any region, diversity means there may be a part which will constitute the majority, and there will be a part which will constitute the minority. Majority and minority. This game of majority and minority will lead to discrimination. And this discrimination may lead to insecurity. To avoid this, India is a unity in diversity. The framers of the constitution very well knew it. So why do we need constitution? To avoid this insecurity, to avoid this game of majority and minority, to avoid the exploitation by majority on minority. Hence, why do we need constitution? That there should be coordination between them. There is a requirement of coordination between majority and minority. What can we do to ensure this coordination? We can make some basic rules. So the first function is very interesting. Basic, it ensures, it mentions some basic rules which will allow minimal coordination, minimal cooperation. First function. Next. Now, if you want to ensure these basic rules, the next question arises is, who will make these basic rules? Who will make these basic rules? Majority will say we. The other majority, the other part will say we will make the basic rules. Who are you to make? We will make the basic rules. So, also, the another question arises. Now, the first question is, who will make these basic rules? The first question is that if somebody will make the basic rules, how we will decide that only this person should be given the authority to make the basic rules? Interesting, now? Who will make basic rules? Who will make? And what if we decide that this person, specific person or specific group of persons will make basic rules? how do we need to, how we will decide that only this person or this group of people will make the basic rules? So the second function is which it follows, which it allows is that it decides that who will make the decision, who will be given the decision power, the power of decision, and how the authority will be transferred to him. How authority will be given to him or her. Because to ensure some basic rules, we need to give the power of decision to somebody. Now it can be a monarch, it can be a group of people, feudalism, it can be people also. So we have decided that the power of decision should be given to people itself. Should be given to people itself. And how people will decide? By the process of voting, democracy. So the second function is places decision, the power of making a decision. Who will make decision? The people who we will choose. Next, the third function is that we have given them the power. Focus on the word power. We have given them the power, we have given them the authority. What if they exploit after getting that power? What if they exploit? So to limit that exploitation, there has been a limitation put on this power. All the points are connected. All of them are connected. It's like a story. It's like a movie going on. Your father has given you a car. You are in +1 and +2. You have authority to take that car anywhere. Means he have given with an intention to go from house to school, and from school to tuition. What if you exploit that authority? So to limit that exploitation, he has provided you with a driver, which is necessary. So limitation. It also puts limitation on the power of the government. The limitations are, which are mentioned in the Constitution, that are fundamental rights. Rights given to the citizens, which even state cannot exploit, which even state cannot trespass. Fundamental rights. Next, fourth. Now, the car was given to you. Now, only providing the authority of car and putting a limitation is not enough. The other thing which our father expects to be the growth. That whatever you are studying in the school, whatever you are studying in the tuition, that should increase your intellect. That is the main motive, main function, main motive of your father to provide the car. Main function, main motive. What if you don't do it? Then that authority and that limitation, is helpless, is of no use. Same NCERT says that only authority and limitation will not lead to the growth of the country. We will have to make some aspirations. We will have to make some goals which needs to be fulfilled for society, for the growth of society. So only authority and limitation will not help. In this modern era, there should be a constitution. There is a constitution which also leads to the fulfillment of aspirations and goals of the society. So for the fulfillment of aspirations and goal of the society, Constitution has mentioned DPSPs, Directive Principles of State Policy. Understand the word directive principles. We are giving the directions. Constitution is giving the directions. Is giving the directions for the state policies, the policies which state will implement. They are giving the direction, directive principles, that these should be the principles, these should be the directions on which the further coming state policy should be implemented. Say in case, though we will discuss it in the polity part, which we will discuss later in detail, but I am giving a gist of it. What is DPSP? The directions have been given for the state policies. The Constitution says that there should be equality of income. There should be equality of income. One other, you have to introduce those policies. You have to introduce those policies which will lead to the economic equality. It is also very well mentioned in the preamble, justice for society is a goal of society, is an aspiration of society. Liberty, freedom, fraternity. So you can very well connect to the Constitution. Preamble, we will discuss it in the preamble, that actually the justice, liberty, equality, fraternity are actually the aspirations, are goals which were mentioned by the framers, and they are thoroughly discussed, in detailed discussed in DPSPs. That justice mentioned in preamble, liberty, fraternity, equality, they are very well discussed in DPSPs. The last point, the fifth function, it mentions the fundamental identity. Fundamental identity. It provides fundamental identity. As Constitution is the fundamental law of land, so it will provide the identity given to you will be the fundamental identity. Though this point is a bit tricky, but we will understand in a very easy way. So NCERT mentions three types of identities. The first is political identity. Now, if you are abide by these basic rules, if you are following the norms, if you are following the principles mentioned in the Constitution, you are given the political identity. You are given the political identity. Second, it says moral identity. Moral identity. NCERT mentions a very good word, that the Constitution has overarching principles. Overarching principles means that not only the aspirations and goals of the society will be fulfilled, also the aspirations and goals of an individual will also be fulfilled. Even the goals and aspirations of individual will be fulfilled. The constitution will tell that what you have to do, what you should do and what you should not do. For say, if I have an aspiration to win this world, aspiration to goal to win this world, if I use an unethical means, it is possible. It's my aspiration, it's my goal. I may use any mean to achieve to fulfill my aspiration. So constitution mentions, no, you cannot kill anybody to kill your aspiration of winning the world. Limitation to it constrains, mention the NCERT, it constrains your way, it constrains your means to fulfill your aspirations. Moral identity. Third identity, that is national, important, national identity. This is the fundamental identity. National identity. How national identity is the fundamental identity which ensures that what is the relationship of a person with the central government. What is the relationship of you, of me, of these people living in the society with the central government? Only if you have a citizen, only if you are citizens, then only then policies of government, the welfare policies, will be implemented, or you can enjoy the benefit of those policies. If only you are citizen of this country, then only the policies which the central government has implemented, you can enjoy the benefit of those policies. That is the relationship. This national identity of citizenship. National identity means citizenship. So through citizenship, which is mentioned in the Constitution, it ensures relationship of us with the central government, so that you can enjoy the benefit of the welfare policies introduced by government. So, basic rules, I am correcting them all. Basic rules, you need basic rules. Why? To avoid insecurity. These basic rules need some power. Who will make the basic rules? Who has the power of decision, and how the authority will be given? Democracy. Now this power can exploit you. Limitation on the power. Only this authority and limitation will not lead to the development. So aspirations and goals. And to fulfill the aspirations and goals, we need welfare policies. Who can enjoy the welfare policies? Only if you are a citizen. If you have national identity, only then you can enjoy the aspirations, goals. Why? We need constitution. Next part. Next part is how. How did we get the constitution? How? Or you can say the authority of constitution. The authority of Constitution. The first question is how it was made effective. How it was made effective. It is necessary to be made effective. So the first point is, the first factor which made effective is mode of promulgation. Mode of promulgation. The mode of promulgation ultimately decides that how it was made effective. Now, what if today I make my own constitution and I claim that this constitution will be applied to India? A constable will come and slap me. Who are you? Do you have any authority? Do you have any authority to proclaim? Do you have any authority to promulgate? So, less of authority to proclaim or to promulgate will lead to defunctioning. If your authority is less, it will lead to defunctioning of the constitution. It will not function. It will not function. Now, military is not given. Military, if today military comes, military says that this constitution will be applied. Who has given the authority to military? Now, what if this is not possible? What is possible? What is possible? That what if I give people the authority? What if I give people? What if I give people the authority? How it can be given? By earning the credibility, or by referendum. We, for India, use this method because there was a long struggle of national movement, and those leaders of national movement, we people had trust on those leaders of national movement. So those leaders of national movement ultimately made the constitution and proclaimed it and promulgated it. We had trust in them. We had trust in them that if they will make the constitution, they will not discriminate. They will not discriminate. So, mode of promulgation. How it became effective? Because how it became effective? The first factor is mode of promulgation. Means, how it became effective means only because it was made by the people who held the credibility of the large people. Those people are national leaders. So those national leaders who held the credibility of the normal people made the constitution, only then it was made effective. अगर लोगों का ट्रस्ट होता ही ना उन लोगों में, उन फ्रेमर्स ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, नेशनल लीडर्स में, हम उसको कर नहीं सकते थे. इट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल टू मेक इट इफेक्टिव. आज मैं क्लेम करता हूं आई विल मेक द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. Can I make it effective? No. Not more than 10 people will be standing behind me to promote, to show trust. So the people, normal people, show trust on those leaders. So mode of promulgation. If you have less authority, it will lead to defunction. You have authority, if we have authority, large authority of people, through credibility of the next factor. Which ensures that, which gives us answer that how it was made effective. The second factor is substantive provisions. Substantive provisions. It says that there are provisions mentioned in the Constitution. There are provisions mentioned in the Constitution which are substantive in nature. Means they do not fulfill the interest of a group of people, a short group of people, or a specific community, or a specific religion. The provisions which are mentioned in the Constitution make all of them to abide by the Constitution. Substance. The provisions mentioned in the Constitution are such that make other people to abide by the Constitution. Because for every group, for every religion, for every type of minority, majority, the provisions of welfare are mentioned in the Constitution. Not a single group has been left in whose interest the provisions are not mentioned in the Constitution. So if the provisions are mentioned which are fulfilling your interest also, my interest also, if they are fulfilling the interest people living outside, your neighbors, it will automatically become effective. It will automatically become effective if they are fulfilling the interest of everyone. So, substantive provisions. Because if provisions will be for everyone, if provisions will be for everyone, it will ensure the security of identity. It will ensure the security of identity, the fundamental identity. So, no discrimination on the basis of race, caste, sex, religion. Every person has the right to life. Not only Hindus, not only Muslims, not only Sikhs, every person. Provisions which are fulfilling the interests of everyone. Another answer to how it was made effective. Next. Third factor. Third factor is that balanced institutional design. Sir, balance is very important in the life. If you don't even have a balance to ride a bicycle, you will fall on the ground. Balance is very much important. Center of gravity. Science students might know about it. Center of gravity. Balance is important. Balance is important between majority and minority. Balance is important between elder and younger. It is important. You cannot give all the powers to a single person to govern the country. It will lead to monarchy. Monarchy means not even worse than monarchy. Worse than monarchy. Anarchy, chaos. Balanced institutional design. To avoid subversion. Why? To avoid subversion. That a specific group of people do not overtake a majority, do not overtake a minority. The Prime Minister of India cannot kill the people who haven't voted in his favor. He cannot kill because fundamental rights. Because a balance have been made. Balance means how balance have been made? Prime Minister have been given the power. We have also been given the right. That you cannot kill us. Don't dare to touch me. I'll move to judiciary. So even if your rights are exploited, you don't have to go to the Prime Minister who has ultimately exploited you. There is another authority. That is judiciary. So balance of institutional design. Now how this balancing have been maintained? Two types of balance. First, checks and balances. Through checks and balances. How? Legislature, executive, judiciary. The example I've just given. If Prime Minister has exploited you, you are not abide to go to the Prime Minister again to ensure your rights. You have judiciary. Next, rigidity and flexibility. More of rigidity will lead to falling of the constitution. More of rigidity. People will move out of the country. क्या constitution है ये? कुछ करने नहीं देता ये तो. More of rigidity. इतनी पावर है गवर्नमेंट के पास. The thoughts which will come into your mind. This much of rigidity. I can't do it. Flexibility. The flexibility should be enough that the core principles should maintain. Listen to me carefully. The flexibility should be enough that the core principles should be maintained with the adaptation of new circumstances. Core principles should be maintained with adaptation of new circumstances. This is necessary. If your constitution is like which cannot adapt the new circumstances, it will fall down. It will fall down. So rigidity and flexibility, balance. Checks and balances. The power has been divided. Horizontally it is divided. An extension of this point is mentioned at the last of the chapter. At the last of the chapter. It adds to this point. That checks and balances, there has been horizontal division of power. This is horizontal division of power. And center and state, division of power between center and state is the vertical division of power. Balance. And this both leads to federal form of government, and this leads to federal pattern, and this leads to parliamentary form of government. This is mentioned in the last major topic. I have discussed it over here. Horizontal division of power, legislative, executive, judiciary leads to parliamentary form of government, and vertical division of power leads to federal form of government. So the third factor which ensures that how it was made effective. Why people followed it? Why people followed it? First, the mode of promulgation. People already have credibility in the people who were forming the constitution. Mode of promulgation. The next was substantive provisions. Provisions for everyone. Means everyone has the security of his or her identity. इतना तो नहीं हुआ कि ये मेरे को मार देंगे. I have identity. I have my national identity. I have my political identity. Third, balance. These were the three factors which lead to the effectiveness of the constitution. Otherwise, it would have failed. It would have turned unsuccessful. Next. The second point. How it was made. How it was made. NCERT mentions that the Constituent Assembly was formed by the second cabinet mission, and the members of Constituent Assembly, the members of the Constituent Assembly was in such way, Constituent Assembly, that from provinces which were directly governed by Britishers, which were under the direct control of Britishers, the provinces represented 292 members, and the princely states represented 93 seats or 93 members. Constituent Assembly. So the first meeting of Constituent Assembly, first conference of Constituent Assembly was of undivided India was on 9th December 1946. First meeting of Constituent Assembly of undivided India was on 9th December 1946. It represented the divided India. It represented the divided India. It represented the divided India on 14th August 1947. This same Constituent Assembly represented the divided India. Also, the members of the Constituent Assembly fall short because the members elected from the region of Pakistan and Bangladesh will have no authority, will have no responsibility, will not be a part of this Constituent Assembly anymore. They will form their own Constituent Assembly. So the people elected from Pakistan region, Bangladesh region will have no responsibility, no authority in this Constituent Assembly, will not be a part of this Constituent Assembly. When the Constituent Assembly met for divided India, that is on 14th August 1947. The Cabinet Mission Plan mentions the first point that there will be 292 members from provinces, there will be 93 seats from provincial states. The second thing the Cabinet Mission mentioned was the communal representation, that Muslims will vote only for Muslims, Sikh will vote only for Sikh, and for general other people it is general. And after every seat there were 10 lakh people. Behind every seat, for every 10 lakh people, there was one seat. And the representation of Muslim, Sikh and general in Constituent Assembly will be proportionate, will be in proportion to the population of the Muslim, Sikh and general respectively. जितने प्रोपोर्शन इनकी पॉपुलेशन का है कंट्री के अंदर, उतना ही रेशियो इन लोगों का होगा कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के अंदर. एंड दिस रेशियो इज फॉर एवरी सीट, दैट हर 10 लाख लोगों के पीछे एक सीट है. नाउ इफ मुस्लिम्स इन द इंडिया इज, say Muslim in India, population of Muslim in India was, say it's 1%. Sorry, say it's, I'm taking the ratio. Say the ratio was 1, take it as 2, 1 and 2. Or in case, say take it as 7. No worries. So the number of seats in Constituent Assembly will be 70%. Number of seats for Sikh in Constituent Assembly will be 1%, 10%. Number of seats in Constituent Assembly for Muslims will be 20%. This is what cabinet plan mentions. The third point also, the third point, the cabinet mission plan mentions for the formation of Constituent Assembly was that from provinces the people will be chosen, the 292 members will be chosen through the method of proportional representation through single transferable vote. Proportional representation through single transferable vote. We will be discussing this proportional representation with single transferable vote in polity for UPSC civil services in the next week, in another video. And for princely states where the Rajas were still, means princely states which were under indirect control of Britishers, this princely states will be, the members of this through princely states will be elected by consultation. Means the Raja and his court will decide that उनके कोर्ट में से किसको भेजना है इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में, who will be sent, who will be made the part of this constituent assembly. 4 points. Third point was election of members from provinces. The fourth point is election of members from princely states. This was mentioned in the cabinet. This was the introduction of how it was made. So the first point of how it was made was composition of constituent assembly. First, composition of constituent assembly. Composition of constituent assembly. It says that the plan of partition was introduced on 3rd June 1947. This partition, the plan of partition led to the reduction in the members of Constituent Assembly to only 292 members. 299 members. Led to reduction of in the members of Constituent, because the members elected or chosen from the region of Pakistan and Bangladesh will no more be the part of Constituent Assembly. So the number of members fell to 299 members. Further, it mentions another fact that the Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949. It was signed by 284 members on 24th January 1950. It came into force on 26th January 1950. Composition of Constituent Assembly. Adoption, signed, force. It was signed by only 284 members. Remember this point. It further says that there were 28 members from scheduled caste. 28 members from scheduled caste, and 82% of the Constituent Assembly were the members. 82% of the Constituent Assembly was Indian National Congress. It also complements the framers of the Constitution that despite a hostile condition, of national movement, violence going on, they were able to make this Constitution. Composition of Constituent Assembly. Next, how it was made? It was made through the principle. It was made through principle of deliberation. Deliberation means a discussion. NCERT mentions what were the problems. The only problem was diversity. As the members of the Constituent Assembly belong from different groups, different religions, different communities, still they did not debate, deliberate from the perspective of their own, from the perspective of their religion, from the perspective of their community. They were not debating just to fulfill the interest of themselves, just to fulfill the interest of their community, just to fulfill the interest of the religion, but they were debating for the fulfillment of the interest of whole nation. Principle of deliberation. A healthy debate, a healthy discussion. If you are a member of Constituent Assembly, if you are debating for the interest of your own self, do you think that it was possible to be made? So they discussed, they deliberated from the perspective of whole nation. NCERT further mentions that there was an exception to this principle. Means there was a point on which they did not discuss. That point was universal adult suffrage. Means people after acquiring a specific age will be given the right to vote, irrespective of property they hold, irrespective of money they have, irrespective of their skills, irrespective of their education. Universal. There was, so NCERT mentioned there was exception to this principle. The exception was universal adult suffrage. Universal adult, the topic of on topic of universal adult suffrage, they did not debate much. Exception. So NCERT mentions that nothing can be a testament, nothing can be a better testament, nothing can be a testament to the democratic commitment of the assembly. Wow, nice. Nothing can be a testament. Principle of deliberation. Nothing can be a testament to the democratic commitment of the assembly. They were ensuring the democracy even in their debates. Welfare of the nation, irrespective of their own interest, avoiding their own interest, their community's interest, their religion interest. Third, how it was. This is second. Third, it was made as procedures. Procedures. Again, diversity. There was diversity. There were around 8 major committees. There were around 8 major committees. 8 major committees which were given the task to work on specific part of the constitution. That this committee will work on the fundamental rights, this committee will work on the DPSPs, this committee will work on the parliament, for parliament, president, the powers of president, anything. So there were 8 major committees, including the leaders as Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar, Sardar Patel, even B.R. Ambedkar did not like the theories or were against Congress and Gandhi. Even on the basis that they did not do much for the upliftment of the scheduled caste. This is the reason Ambedkar did not like much Congress and Gandhi. That they did not do, he used to claim that did not do much for the upliftment of scheduled caste. Still, he played a major role. Still, being neutral, he followed the procedure. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल and जवाहरलाल नेहरू, 36 का आंकड़ा. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल and Nehru, still they worked together. They followed the procedure. They had a healthy discussion, healthy debate, which somewhere showed up the pros and cons of the provisions which they will be adding in the constitution. Now, if the pros and cons are known, see, if my ideology, if my thinking does not meet with you, and if we discuss on a specific topic, at the end we will know the pros and cons after the debate. So, after knowing the pros and cons, they were able to add the best possible provisions. Best possible provisions. Conclusion. The conclusion was that this is good, this is bad, so we should find a middle path. मिडिल पाथ निकालेंगे और फिर उस प्रोविजन को उसको निकालेंगे. सो द प्रोसीजर, this procedure of healthy discussion also led to the inclusion of the provisions, inclusion of substantive provisions which are helpful for all the type of people. Next it mentions inheritance of national movement. Inheritance of national movement. The question here arises is that why having such diverse ideologies, B.R. Ambedkar was in this Constituent Assembly. Sardar Patel and Jawaharlal Nehru having different ideologies were the part of this procedure. The reason was national movement. Despite they did not like each other from the perspective of ideologies, but the long struggle kept them together. That long struggle of national movement kept them together. Inheritance of national movement. That inheritance of national movement made them to work together. That even when the India was not independent, they were discussing on it. That what should be the type of government, what type of government should be introduced, what would be the fundamental rights. And at last, NCRT mentions that we have taken some part from other constitutions. BPSPs from Irish Constitution, fundamental rights from US Constitution. So, this was all in the first chapter. Thank you.